Om. 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 Sahana bhavatu. Sahanau bhunaktu. Sahaviryam karavavai. Tejasvinavadhetamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone. Just to remind ourselves what we are doing, we are following the Bhaja Govindam shlokas, which Swami had taken up as part of the Summer Showers in 1973 and studying them. Out of the 31 verses of Bhaja Govindam, Swami had picked up 16 of them specifically, at least those were mentioned by Swami, and Swami elaborated on their meaning. We are using the order in which Swami picked up as part of the Summer Showers, the same order of verses which we are following. At the end of it, we will cover all the other verses as well. We have looked at 7 verses so far. This is the 8th verse, which Swami picked up, which happens to be the 19th verse in the traditional list of Bhaja Govindam verses. We'll take a look at that. Saira. Yoga ratova, bhoga ratova, sanga ratova, sanga vihina. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandatyeva. Yoga ratova, bhoga ratova, sanga ratova, sanga vihina. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandatyeva. Yoga ratova, bhoga ratova, sanga ratova, sanga vihina. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandatyeva. So this is the verse which we are going to be studying today. And we will look at the pronunciation aspects, identify word letters which may have to be paid attention to. In the first line, it's Yoga Ratova. All of them are unaspirated consonants, so it should be simpler to recite or read. Then the third word is Bhoga Ratova. The Bho is the fourth letter, the Bha in the which is the fourth letter in the per varga, per class of consonants. So that has to be aspirated. Bho. Bhogaratova. In the next line, there are no aspirated consonants. Sangaratova, Sankavihinaha. The third line also, there are no aspirated consonants. And the fourth one also, there are no aspirated consonants. So the only consonant which has to be aspirated is a Bho. Okay. Let's look at grammatical Sandhi split. So the first word, Yoga Rato, is actually yoga rataha. The visarga after the visarga which comes becomes u, and once it becomes u, the ta plus u becomes to. Okay, the taha becomes to. Va no change. Bhoga rataha becomes bhoga rato because of sandhi. Same concept. The taha becomes to. Va. Sangarataha becomes sangarato. Same principle. The visarga becomes u. So ta plus u becomes to. Va sangavihinaha now change due to sandhi. The next line, yasya brahmani ramatecham, there are no sandhi related changes. In the last line, nandati, nandati, nandatyeva, the first two nandatis, there are no sandhis, no change. The last two words are nandati eva. The e plus a becomes ya. Okay. And that's how it becomes ye. When there's the e plus a becomes ye. So nandat yeva becomes the new word after sandhi. So simple words without any sandhi is yogarataha va bhogarataha va sangarataha va sangavihinaha yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati 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 eva. So let's look at the word to word meaning of this verse. Yoga rataha. In the word yoga rataha, I have used the meaning. Yoga means all of you know, it's one who is interested in yoga. Rataha is the meaning which I am given is one who is engaged. So the word rati means engagement or connection or being attuned or even liking. So if one, like Swami always says, Bharata, if you're a Bharatiya or Bharataha, means one who is Ratha, who has Ratha or Rati for Bhagavan. So Bharata, anyone who considers himself a Bharatiya or Bharata, one's residents of Bharata, is one who is attached or who is connected, who is engaged in the worship of Bhagavan, the Lord. So in the same way, one who is always engaged, or one who is always thinking about, one who is always attached to yoga is yoga rataha. Okay. The next word is va. Va means or. In this case, va can have a couple of different meanings also, but in this case, we can take it as or. The next word is bhogaratha. So just the way someone may be attached to yoga, there may be someone who's attached to bhoga. Bhoga means enjoyment. Oh, sorry. I have okay, that's okay, one who is engaged in enjoyment. Okay, he wants to enjoy life. Yogi is one who does not want to enjoy the life. He wants to be connected to only the Lord. So he may be detached from the world. But the bhogi is one who's in the world and he wants to enjoy world. The one who's in the world seems to be enjoying the world. Bhogaratha. Wow. The next word is Sangaratha. So one who is engaged in association. So that person is always among people. He likes company. There are people, who can't be alone. So they are in the society, in the community, among people. And they like it. They seem to be engaged in it, or they seem to be liking it. Sangaratha. Va or. Sangha vihinaha. Sangha means as company. Vihina means without, one who has abandoned association, who is staying away from everyone, who may be in solitude. So whether you are a yogi or you are a bhogi, or whether you are in the sangha or you are outside the sangha. Okay. Then the word yasya comes. Yasya means it is the sixth vibhakti or sixth noun form of the word yaha. Yaha means whoever. Okay, whoever means yaha. But that yaha, it's a sixth form, which means something which belongs to whoever. So, whosoever it is, that kind of meaning. Yasya, whose, the whose chittam, actually, you have to go to chittam, is mind. Chittam is that aspect of the mind which continuously ruminates on anything. Chittam is a place where, we think of the past, or I experienced that, someone said this, all that is chittam. It collects memories. It's a container of all memories. So that is where most of us dwell most of the time, because we, go to the chittam and think about all the things which have happened, whatever we remember. So the memories, vasanas, everything is actually stored in chittam. But whose chittam is abides? Ramate is the word I've used. Given the meaning abides, or you can also say who is attached, or who is pleased. Okay, you can say who is pleased also is Ramate. Brahmani. Brahmani means in Brahman. Brahman is the singular noun form which denotes God. Brahmani means in Brahman, in God. Whosoever chittam which is pleased and abides in Brahman. Okay. Nandati. Nandati means it's happy. It rejoices. It's always joyful. Nandati rejoices. Eva. So Nandati is used 3 times. Nandati, 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 Eva. So that actually it is composed by a disciple of Shankaracharya, and he says uses the word 3 times. So in poetry, when we look at a word used by 3 times, we try to see 3 different meanings. So let us also try. Nandati means he rejoices. Okay, person whose mind is always pleased in the thought of God. Such person's mind, such person always rejoices, is happy. So there is this word saha, which is not implied here. Saha means he. A person whosoever is abiding in Brahman, or who is pleased by being in Brahman, that person rejoices. First Nandati. Saha Nandati, he rejoices. Then the second one can be Saha Eva Nandati. That means he alone rejoices. He alone is happy. The third one is Saha Nandati Eva. That means he rejoices alone. That means he only rejoices. He only rejoices. He only rejoices. So he is always happy. He doesn't have any other state of mind. So, but no, he alone is happy means no one else can be happy. Only a person whose mind is always absorbed in the divine and is pleased by God, such a person alone can be happy. So that's interpretation given by many commentators on this. We'll look at what Swami has said in his discourse. So let's read. This is the 11th discourse of Swami in that Samashavas, for anyone who wants to read it. Samashavas 1973, 11th discourse. Whether one is a yogi given to simple living or a bhogi given to luxury, whether one has renounced everything and is a sannyasi, or is still in a family enjoying attachment, peace and truth are the only two things which can give him ananda or bliss. His peace is his happiness supreme. See, just wanted to point something out. So what happened when Swami delivered this discourse? Swami took this essence and composed actually a Telugu poem. For each of these verses, there's a Telugu poem by Swami, which I have not covered. So this is the meaning of that poem of Swami in Telugu, which captures the essence of this Sanskrit verse. Okay, we'll continue. When Shankara was engaged in composing the verses of Bhaja Govindam, each disciple was also giving a verse of his own, and a principal disciple by name Nityananda had given a distinctive message in the verse that he composed. See, his name itself is Nityananda. And he uses the word Nandati. Nitya Ananda means one who is always happy. So it's so not so, it's, I don't know whether it's coincidental or whether he is talking about himself. He has used the word Nandati. Okay, this is an aside. So by the name Nityananda had given a distinctive message in the verse that he composed. The meaning of this verse is that whether one is given to yogic way of life or one is given to a luxurious way of life, whether he has renounced the world or is still in it, once he has seen and tasted the greatness of Brahman or the aspect of the divine, he will remain a divine person and nothing will detract him from the divine path. You may ask the question, how is this possible? A dancer or an actor, while performing a dance or enacting a drama, does the particular act very well and is not led away from the normal life by what he or she is doing in that act. So also a yogi who is living in a family and performing the duties prescribed for that purpose is not attracted into the family. Because we are looking only at the external appearances, we are not able to understand the true spirit in which a yogi functions. There's another small example for this. According to Indian tradition, and as an accepted practice, if one husband has two wives, and if one of the wives is pregnant, at the time of the death of the husband, she will not acquire widowhood till she delivers a child, but continues to enjoy the status of a Sumangali. She alone knows the fact that she is a widow. Purusha, or the creator of the universe, has two wives, Pravritti and Nivritti. Because the meaning of Pravritti and Nivritti is not given, I will just give the meaning. Pravritti means one is externally focused. Nivritti means one who is internally focused. Okay, so the Purusha has two people, two ways or margam, you can say, two ways of living in this world. Okay. So he encompasses both external faced and internally faced. Pravritti Nivritti. As in the example just given, Nivritti only keeps up her appearance of a Sumangali for the prosperity of the world and has a special relationship to Purusha, the husband. It is about this that a clever disciple by the name Saunaka questions Guru Angirasa in the Manduka Upanishad. Angirasa tells that whatever could be taught is of two kinds. One is the knowledge of the lower type, Apara Vidya, and the other is the knowledge of the higher type, the Paravidya. Whether it is the Rig Veda, Atharvana Veda, Sama Veda, or Yajurveda, or the Upanishads, they have all been taught as Apara Vidya. Not only that, Angirasa had taught various things like grammar, prosody, astrology, etc. as part of Apara Vidya. On the other hand, where it was to listen to or understand and turn over in one's mind all that is abstract and all that relates to the divinity or Brahman, the eternal. It was handled as Paravidya. This means that once you turn your mind towards understanding the imperishable Brahman, then whatever is performed as a function of the body is no longer Aparavidya, but also turns into Paravidya. We know that King Janaka, even while performing ordinary worldly duties such as ruling the kingdom and looking after the needs of the kingdom, found it possible to turn his thought completely towards the divine. For Janaka's ability to do this, there's an example. The great Rishi Sukha was once teaching several things to his disciples in a forest quite close to Mithilapura. King Janaka learnt about this and wanted to become a disciple of Sukha and listen to his teachings. Janaka went to the forest, made obeisance to Sukha, and asked that he be accepted as one amongst the numerous disciples Sukha had, and requested permission to attend the classes. From that day, Janaka was conducting himself as one of the disciples. One day, when he did not arrive in time, Sukha did not start his class and waited till Janaka arrived. He further told the other disciple that he was delaying the class for that reason. When the sage told the other disciples to wait till Janaka arrived, they murmured among themselves and told each other that they had joined this great sage only because it was believed that he attached no special importance to kings and such other powerful people. It now appears that he is influenced by the king's wealth and power. From that day, their faith in the Guru started weakening. They also became envious of King Janaka. This is something which had been known from ancient times. When deserving disciples are given the opportunity of going close to the teacher, others who are not eligible for such treatment become envious. It is not possible to say when and on whom such grace will fall. Some people, even if they had done a lot of good in their previous births, are reborn the moment their accumulated good work has worked itself out. This means that one should go on performing good actions and thereby rise higher and higher. On the other hand, if one thinks that he need not do any more good, he will lose the opportunity. As soon as Sukha saw such envy and jealousy and jealousy among his disciples. He decided to teach them a lesson. At, at an opportune moment, all the disciples were made to feel that the entire city of Mithilapura was in flames. As soon as the disciples saw that Mithilapura was in flames, each one of them began to think of the effect it would have on their houses, on their parents, on their wealth, and so on. Each one began to run to the city with a view to save and salvage what he could. But King Janaka did not waver and did not move from his place. Sukha told Janaka that the flames appeared to have spread to the palace, and he asked Janaka to go and save the inmates of the palace. Janaka did not agree to do this, but was only smiling, thinking that God's will shall be done and no one can change it. The envious students who ran to the city found that there were no flames at all, and that it was perhaps only a make-believe. They came back and reported this to Sukha. They expressed surprise at the steady mind of Janaka. Sukha looked at the disciples who were envious and told them that it is better to have one disciplined student rather than many students who have no stability of mind. It is good to have one steady mind to whom you can convey a lesson. This is better than 1,000 wavering minds. There is a similar story with regard to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. In the midst of giving a discourse, he found a disciple by name Rani Rasmani sitting and pretending to listen to the discourse. He went straight to her and gave this Rani 2 slaps. Others who were witnessing this event were surprised and were thinking that Ramakrishna did not have a sound mind. Rasmani also was surprised at this and was trying to think if anything was wrong with her and why the Guru was treating her with disrespect. Truly, if one knows one's own faults, he will not commit those faults. In fact, because Rasmani did not know her fault, she was not able to realize what was wrong with her. Ramakrishna told her that if she came there to think of her problems of litigation and not to listen to the discourse, she might as well do so in her house. In the same manner, some people who come and sit here to listen to what is being said here waver and flutter like the leaves of a tree. They move about and look around as if they are crows. They are not able to sit steadily. They look this side and that side. They are unconcerned and unaffected by all that happens here. They cannot even sit properly. Unless you have a steady mind, you cannot understand matters relating to the Atma. They also set a bad example to others. People who have wavering minds cannot be true yogis, even though they may pass off as good devotees in external appearance. It is in this context that Shankara's disciple Nityananda wrote this particular verse. Even if you have family attachments, you can do many good things and understand the Atma Tattva. There have been many saints like Potana, Tyagaraja, Kabir, Ramadas, Vemana, Jayadeva, Gauranga, and so on, who have expounded the divine while remaining in the society and retaining worldly attachments. There are others who remove themselves away from the society and go to a forest or a hill to attain this Atma Tattva. There are yet others in the society who pretend to be great devotees. They always move to places where there are large gatherings of devotees. They pretend to be very detached while remaining in the society. Such actions and such pretensions can never be accepted way of life. Valuable jewels are always kept in strong boxes, and sellers thereof show them only to those who really wish to buy them or those who have the capacity to buy them. They do not take the jewels to a fish market and show them to everyone, irrespective of their capacity to purchase them. Japa, dhyana, sadhana, and other methods of self-realization are like valuable jewels and gems. They can only be shown and given to people who have unwavering faith and a steady mind. They cannot be given for the purposes of exhibition to people who do not even know how to concentrate on an object. There are three kinds of sadhana to develop an unwavering mind. The first is the mina sadhana, like the fish. The second is mriga sadhana, like the animal. And the third is kurma sadhana, like the tortoise. Mina sadhana can be explained by remembering that fish can survive only in water. The moment it is taken out of water, it perishes. Similarly, Mina sadhana is one which can be done only in solitude. If you sit in public, the sadhana will not be successful. Being unable to concentrate it when he is mixed up with other people and being able to get concentration in solitude is called Mina sadhana. The animal sadhana is that in which one can get concentration on the earth only. You cannot go elsewhere, say into the water and do it. As in this case, there are some people who can get concentration only when they are sitting in company and among others. They cannot get concentration in solitude. If they are alone, they begin to think of their family problems. On the other hand, the tortoise can live equally well either in water or on earth. If we say that one sadhana is like kurma sadhana or one is able to concentrate like a tortoise, we mean that the person is able to concentrate irrespective of whether he is alone or is sitting in company among the others. This is called kurma sadhana. Today, there is no equal-mindedness. You are all developing only what is related to sangha or the society. In this age of youth, it is possible for you to develop intense concentration. While your body and mind are strong, you must control your organs. Otherwise, you will have a wavering mind and you cannot control it when you grow older. If you have a wavering mind, you will be wasting your life. If things happen contrary to ideas, your desires, and your expectations, there will be excitement coming from within you. You should not be subservient to such excitement. You should control yourself and get an upper hand over such excitement. Then only will you be entitled to God's grace. Be in society, but remain careful to say that your faith and devotion are not perturbed. If your faith shakes, your life will become shaky. If your mind can be controlled, you can certainly do something useful and your life will become purposeful. I want to urge upon you to make good use of your stay here without wasting time. Looking at all this, taking a superficial view of this, and you're taking down notes from what the teachers have said are not going to be of much use. Only that portion of it which you take to your heart and preserve with careful care will be of lasting value. In a washerman's house, there may be hundreds of shirts, pants and bush coats with very attractive colors and shapes, but all these clothes will be there for a short while only. They'll be washed ironed, and returned to the owners. The only clothes that will remain in his possession for a longer time will be his own clothes. In the same manner, your head is like the house of a washerman. The teachings which are being given to you now go into your head like the clothes of others which go into a washerman's house. Only those teachings which you retain and put into practice will remain with you, and all the others will go out of you. If you take a spoon and put it in various items like of food like the sambar, buttermilk, payasam, and so on, the spoon itself cannot get the taste of any of these items. There's no use if our intelligence moves about in the contents of various lectures that we hear, like the spoon in this analogy. It's only when we consume this ourselves that useful results will follow. There's a small story in the Mahabharata. With a view to getting Krishna on her side, Satyabhama, a selfish woman, went to Narada and requested him to tell her some way, a shortcut by which she could achieve her objective. Narada knew that Satyabhama was very selfish and that selfishness will never work in regard to matters relating to God. So Narada wanted to teach a lesson to Satyabhama and said that he knew of a method which would get Krishna on her side completely. This method consisted of a devotional ritual in which she was supposed to give away her husband as a gift to someone and then buy him back by paying money, equivalent in weight to the weight of the Lord. Narada said that if she went through the ritual, Krishna would belong solely to Satyabhama at all times and under all circumstances. Satyabhama did not understand God's ways. She had no idea of God's strength. She was intensely selfish and was lured into the plan which Narada had put before her. Therefore, she had undertaken the ritual of gifting Krishna to Narada and getting him back after weighing him in terms of wealth. In one pan of the balance, she made Krishna sit, and she put all her wealth in the other pan. But it was no match to the weight of Krishna. Narada saw an excellent opportunity in the situation and told Satyabhama that since she is not able to give the money needed to equal her husband's weight, he was taking away Krishna. And that from that day, Krishna would not belong to her, but would belong to him. In that situation, Satyabhama was trying to find someone who could help her. She thought of Rukmini and went in search of her. She found her performing Tulasi Puja. Rukmini saw the plight of Satyabhama and said that she would gladly come to her help. She went with a few Tulasi leaves in her hand. When Rukmini went there and saw the situation in which Krishna and Narada were, she was astonished to find that Satyabhama was trying to outweigh the Lord himself with money. She knew that there would never be possible, that this would be this that she knew that this would never be possible. She addressed Narada and said that money will never outweigh God, and only God's name can match him in weight. Narada did not agree to this and said that since Krishna has a form which can be seen, he must be weighed against something which can also be seen. Narada said that he could not accept something which cannot be seen, such as a name as equivalent to Krishna, a form which can be seen. Since Rukmini had a pure heart, she immediately grasped the situation and she told herself that whether it's fruit, flower, or a leaf, or even a spoon of water, if given in full faith, God will surely respond. If there's any truth in this, she expected Krishna to respond to what she was going to do. And in full faith, she placed a few tulasi leaves in the other pan of the balance after uttering the name of Krishna. The name of Krishna became exactly equal to the person of Krishna, and the weight of the leaves became excess in the balance. It's only with affection, love, and a pure heart that one can get around God. Get around God. But if you want to adopt tricks and shortcuts, and if you want to be foxy and thus try to get around, I would say, around God, he can be even more foxy and turn you into a dog. Your pretensions and your doing things that are not relevant will never take you to God. For this reason, whether one is a yogi or a bhogi, whether one is in the society or in solitude, if he knows and understands the nature of God, he will change into becoming one with the divine. This is the substance of the words given by Nityananda in the Bhaja Govindam series. So I'll stop here. Swami's explanation of this verse of what is this to be Nandati, to rejoice. As Swami has explained, that is to become God himself. One cannot be happy unless one becomes one with God. And by this knowing and understanding the nature of God and dwelling on it and be so pleased with that, one becomes divine. And through that process, one becomes happy, whether one lives in the society or not. Only that person knows whether that person is happy. So it also shows that if one is a real devotee, one has to be happy at all times. And the only experience of that person is happiness, joy. Only then that person is a devotee, as Swami says. Whether that such a person, whether he lives in the society or lives in the forest, or whether he seems to be a yogi or he seems to be a bhogi, it seems to be enjoying the world, that person is actually enjoying only the Lord, not the world. So I will stop here. If there are any questions related to what we discussed. Sairam Kalyani, please go ahead.
Sorry, Uncle. But such a person like that, they're not really Bhoga Rataha, right? Or Sangha Rataha. Like they don't really have rati towards that.
So the thing is, that person is also enjoying the world. I think that's the question, Is the person enjoying the world? Bhoga Rata. The thing is, a yogi also will be a bhogi in this world. He will enjoy the world. But actually he's not enjoying the external world. He's enjoying the Lord within that world. So the answer is, if a sweet is given to such a person, that person also will eat the sweet and taste the sweetness and be so happy. Another person also may eat the sweet and be happy. But there's a difference of what they are enjoying. The yogi is enjoying the divinity within the sweet. Okay, because he sees the sweetness in the sweet as God. But whereas the other person sees the sweet as only the external. That's why Swami has used the word pravritti and nivritti. So that person is going within the sweet and seeing the divinity there and then enjoying it. So he's also enjoying. But his mind is in Brahman. Yasya chittam ramate brahmani. So for an external person, he will say, oh, he's also enjoying sweet, nothing wrong, I am also enjoying There's no difference. No. The difference is that person is enjoying the Purusha. That's why Swami uses the example of the two wives of one husband. He says one wife, as soon as the husband dies, she will dress up as if she is a widow and will think of the husband. But the woman who is actually carrying a baby in her womb, when the husband passes away, she does not, even in the external world, she does not become one who is actually widowed. She will live like a Sumangali, as if the husband is alive. But her mind is always on the Purusha. But for the world, others will say, oh, husband died, she seems to be happy, she's going about doing everything. But for that woman, she's not really engaged in the external world, she's only thinking of the Purusha. So the same way, the one who is enjoying the Lord is enjoying the Lord in yoga, is enjoying the Lord in bhoga. Okay, so that person's understanding of bhoga is much more complete, which includes God. So he is also bhogarata. I hope it answers.
Yeah, so such a person, like even when if he doesn't have the sweet, then he will still be enjoying the Lord in the absence of.
Exactly. That's why, va is given. Sangarato va sangavihina. Yogarato va bhogarato. For the external world, they will seem like that, but actually their ratha is Brahman. But externally, what you see can be misleading, is what Swami says. But the test is whether the person is in a state of nandati. That nandana. Is he happy? As you said, whether sweet is there or not, the person is happy. So,
And the example of the Sumangali, Swami saying that person is the Nivritti Marga, or
yes, Nivritti Marga. So Nivritti Marga, so it's basically this entire verse is describing what is Nivritti Marga while being in Pravritti, while being in the world or while detached from the world, the person who is in Nivritti Marga is same. Okay, so that's what Swami is contrasting here. Swami is also giving one who is in the Nivritti Marga is actually like the tortoise. Whether it's in the land or whether it is in water, it will be the same. One who is in Nivritti. But if you can follow a detached life as a Pravritti Marga also, Swami says sannyasi may be interested in the external appearance of a sannyasa, but he may not be an inner sannyasi. So of the mind and the spirit. So it's the same concept. I hope that answers.
Yes, thank you, Uncle. And one other question, when Angirasa, that story was happening, so they were saying even when they're being taught the Vedas, even all of that is Aparavidya?
Yeah. So what Swami is saying is, sometimes we may think, we are going for bhajans, we are doing seva, we are doing sadhana. So that is, Vedas also can be learned, we can chant and all that. But all that is only Aparavidya. Just because we chant Vedam, it cannot be considered Paravidya. We have not learned the Paravidya. So that's why Swami is saying even spiritual activities may be a worldly activity if the essence is lacking. So the same thing can be, Aparavidya, even though people may think, that they are doing something good. And then Swami is giving the example of people who go to big crowds, they want to expound on topics, but actually they're all spoons who have not tasted it. So that's I hope that answers.
Thank you, Uncle. Yes, thank you so much.
Sairam Auntie, can I guess, Auntie?
Sairam, I don't know. So this Sumangali, once she delivers the baby, is she considered a widow after that?
Yes, after that point in time, in the external world, she will be seen as because she will stop being a Sumangali. Yeah, that's true. That's the traditional practice.
Fact, okay.
Yeah.
It's to the world only. Yeah.
The world, yeah, it world will, see. The reason is that woman, until the child is brought off and the child is settled, she will be like a Sumangali, and then she will lead a life of widow. Yes.
Because she's given that status because she has to take care of the baby.
Yeah, it's also the belief that, a Sumangali should not be sad.
Okay.
So if you're carrying a child and you are sad and depressed, it will affect the child.
Yeah.
So for the sake of the child, the woman will be a Sumangali.
Mm.
That's for the benefit of the child. So the same way Swami says, even a jnani may live in the world for the benefit of the world. Not necessarily they are interested or attached. So it's for the benefit, for the welfare, they may take on different appearances, but the inner state is what matters.
Thank you, sir.
So it's 8:51. If there are no other questions, we can close the session. And pray to the Lord that we are always happy. And we are only happy. Sai Ram. We will close the session with Samasta Loka. Sai. Om. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.